Hello everyone, welcome to the Geography Learning Channel. I'm back again with Economic Geography for you guys, the grade 12s. Let's explore economic geography together. Whenever we explore and look at economic geography, we always start with the structure of the economy. The structure of the economy is divided into four. It has the primary sector, one. Primary sector is basically extraction of raw materials from the ground, and examples of that is basically agriculture, mining, forestry, and also fishing. Number two, we also have the manufacturing sector, also known as the secondary sector, which involves processing of raw materials to finished products. So this basically involves the factories and also the industries and the construction areas. Tertiary sector is the third one, which falls as the service industry. It provides services to people, for example, education. Right now, as I am teaching you, I'm providing a service to you. So services like education, health facilities, trade, transport, they all fall under the tertiary sector. And then lastly, because of increase in development, we also have the quaternary sector, which looks at information and technology and research also. It involves a high level of expertise and technology, and the examples I've just labeled them to you. So whenever we look at economic geography, we also need to make sure that we analyze structures of the economy, because these sectors, they do contribute to what we call the GDP. The GDP is the gross domestic product, which means the total value of goods and services produced in a country in one single year. So this basically pie chart basically shows contributions from different sectors within South Africa to the economy. We also have to analyze statistic graphs whenever we also look at economic geography, and linking economic geography to developmental geography in grade 11. It is very important to take note that whenever we look at economic geography, we must be able to identify what is a developed country, what is a developing country. Developing country, usually when it is a developing country in regards to economic sectors, we have more primary activities dominating that particular country. A little bit of manufacturing and a little bit of tertiary. Now, when it is developed, it means the country produces goods, but at a smaller sector within the primary sector. The industries are a bit developed than developing, and because of increase in development, there are more services provided within that particular country. So we also have tertiary and quaternary sectors. My question to you there is, where does South Africa lie with regards to developing or developed? This is for you to analyze. Right, so when I'm now going to look at these economic sectors in detail, I will start with the primary activities, and under primary activities, I'll start off with agriculture. What is agriculture, boys and girls? Agriculture is basically the manufacturing or the production of crops, as well as the rearing of animals. So whenever we look at agriculture, we need to look at what are the factors that favor or promote agricultural production in our country. So before we look at that, we also need to know that we have what are called small-scale farmers. We also have what are called large-scale farmers. Small-scale farmers, these involve subsistence farmers who produce crops for their own consumption, and also some commercial farmers there. Commercial farmers are farmers that produce crops for profit. So when we are saying that it's a small-scale farming, we are saying that there is low farming production and it contributes less to the GDP. When you talk about large-scale farming, then we are saying it is predominantly commercial, where there is mainly growth of crops for sale or profits, with high farming production, and usually because it is for profit, it really does contribute to the GDP. What are the factors that favor agriculture? And we are looking at factors that favor. We are being specific with our country, South Africa. We know that there is high demand of agricultural products in the form of food. So we also know that we also have fertile floodplains, which are very fertile and can produce crops. Our summer temperatures also are very useful to produce crops. We also have availability of labor that can assist in commercial farms also. A wide research has also been implemented to improve agricultural production. We know that South Africa, although it receives low rainfall, but we do have irrigation schemes, we do have water transfer schemes to assist with agriculture. As a result, also, the ports and the airports have also initiated trade and has also favored our agriculture. But what are the factors that hinder? Like I said, we experience low rainfall in South Africa, mainly because of the subtropical high pressure belt that passes through the country, where we know that it does not produce much rain. There's a lot of soil erosion that has occurred on most of our farmlands. At times we're affected by droughts that can also affect our crops. Most people are into subsistence farming, so there is less crops that might be produced for people. Pest and disease production, and also wildfires that also tend to affect some parts of the country. They can hinder agriculture. Now, whenever we look at agriculture, because it is a very useful economic sector, we also need to look at its contribution. It contributes around about 3.1% to the GDP. Agriculture is important to the economy. As we all know, this is where we get our food. It has led to the development of infrastructure, roads, buildings, industrial growth. Also created employment for others who work on farms. And it supplies raw materials for our industries. And we can also earn from foreign exchange through export of some of our crops. What are the main agricultural products that are produced in the country? These are the main agricultural products that are produced in the country, as you can see there. The fruits, the grains and the seed. The main popular grains is maize and wheat there. Livestock production through beef, mutton, pork, sugar, and also dairy. These are some of the products that are produced within the country. So South Africa is very, very important. Agriculture is very important in the country. It really does help us in the country. Now, whenever we look at agriculture, we must look at the concepts. What is food security? It is when people have enough food to sustain a healthy lifestyle. That's food security. And when we face food insecurity, it means that we are not having enough food to sustain our populations. Now, what are the hindering factors that might cause us to have food insecurity? Lack of fertile land, natural disasters, poverty, food price increase. We can have less food because of that, because people are not able to afford. Climate change, extreme weather conditions that can be experienced, like droughts or flooding, can affect crop production and also affect food. Population growth has also increased, so there is a high demand of food and it can lead to food insecurity. Now, what are the measures that can be implemented to reduce food insecurity? The measures that can be implemented: one, we can implement sustainable agriculture. We can prevent soil erosion. Sustainable agriculture, what do I mean by sustainable agriculture? I mean crop rotation, dividing our pieces of land, and then we make sure we rotate crops from one piece of land to another. That's sustainable farming, because we are maintaining soil fertility. We must reduce water wastage. In some instances, we can grow drought-resistant crops, especially in areas where we know that we receive less rainfall. We must regulate our food prices, and we must support our small-scale farmers by education, by giving them enough training on how they can grow their crops, and also implementing drought management programs. And also, we know genetically modified foods and modified seeds have also helped us to get more nutritious food, because we know with the genetically modified seeds, we can grow as much as we can, and we know that we can actually harvest much crops within a short piece of land and within a short time as well. Now, when we are also looking at these economic activities, the primary activities Having looked at agriculture, we also look at mining. Mining is also a primary activity because it's extraction of minerals from the ground. And mining has made a lot of contribution within the economy. It has contributed about 9.5% to the GDP. It has provided jobs. It has expanded the harbors because we know that we are exporting some of these products. So it has also expanded our harbors. And mining has also produced some raw materials for our industries and has also led to a high increase in foreign exchange. Towns have also developed as a result of mining. For example, Rustenburg is as a result of mining. Even Johannesburg also started as a gold mine so many years ago. Now, what is the significance of mining? The significance of mining, discovery of diamonds and gold has led to the development of infrastructure. Settlements have developed. So it's like it's driving force to the development of South Africa. It has actually opened universities and educational institutions in other areas. It produces a variety of minerals, and it has attracted a lot of investments and a lot of immigrants within the country. Minerals mined in South Africa and how they are ranked. This is how they are ranked. Number one, we know it is platinum, and that makes up Rustenburg very, very popular, or Northwest. These are the minerals that are mined in South Africa, as you can see there. Those that are labeled number one, you can actually see them. And we know that 79 of the world's reserves of platinum are in South Africa. And that puts South Africa on the map and also puts mining on the map. What are the factors that favor mining? South Africa has a wide range of minerals. That's one thing that's for sure. As you have seen, we have some world reserves that are found in regards to platinum. It has large mineral reserves. We've got a lot of unskilled labor and also skilled labor that benefits the country. A lot of investors have also invested money in our mines. It has developed infrastructure, or well-developed infrastructure has also favored mining because we can actually transport goods from one point to another. So that is very beneficial. And we've got high-quality minerals and huge core reserves which produce also electricity. So electricity also is available within the country again. So that is a factor that favor. Now, what are the factors that hinder mining? Most of our minerals are underground. So that can be a disadvantage there. Mine strikes can also affect mining. Large distances between mine and harbors has made transport also very expensive. And we know that because it is a mining, most of the mines are underground. So this is a dangerous activity as well. And it can also lead to death of people, especially if it collapses. We also know that prices of minerals, at times they fluctuate. This can affect profits. And mining requires a lot of water, and as we said also, South Africa is in a very dry country. So that can also be a factor that hinders mining. And one important hindrance is that minerals are non-renewable resources. Once we use them, then we cannot replace them. So that is the primary sector. Now we go on to the secondary sector. Secondary sector now, as I said, we are looking at processing of raw materials into finished products. And whenever we look at industries, we divide the industries into two. These are the type of industries: light industry, heavy industry. Light industry examples, we are looking at factory, shops, food and beverages. Where are they located? They are usually located close to the CBD or at the zone of decay. In regards to raw materials, they use small or partially processed raw materials. There are no land-specific requirements, and they are located where there's good infrastructure and good power supply. And environmental impact, it is minimum. So light industries, they don't produce much pollution into the atmosphere. Now, heavy industries, we are looking at industries that require high huge machinery, and at times they also cause a lot of pollution. So because of that, in terms of location, they are located very far. They are located in the outskirts of the city. And examples of those, we're looking at the iron and steel power stations and the motor vehicle factories. Raw materials, they use large and bulky raw materials, and they do cover a large piece of land. They require a large piece of land. They are also located close to roads for transportation purposes, but they do produce a lot of air pollution and also a lot of noise pollution. Now, also looking at types of industries also, you are going to see that we also need to look at what are bridge industries. These are located between raw material and the market, and they are usually called the break of bulk industries. And an example, they would be an oil refinery. Ubiquitous industries are located anywhere. They provide services 24/7, like internet services. Footloose industries can be located near the market or the raw material, and these can include research and design and software companies. Market-oriented industries are usually close to markets. And why? Because most of the products that are produced are perishable goods, like bakeries. And lastly, raw material-oriented industries are close to raw materials. Why? Because they are bulky and expensive to transport. For example, iron and steel and sugar mills, they are usually raw material industries. So they are located where the raw material is. For example, like sugar, you cannot transport sugar cane for it to be processed. It might be costly to you. It is better to just make sure you manufacture it at the farm there, and then you transport the packets of sugar from one point to another. Now, these are the industries. You want to look at the factors that affect the location of an industry. Obviously, industries require level land. We look at the gradient of the land. Flat land is where it is easy to construct. We require power, because industries require power for them to process, power in terms of electricity. Industries will be located where we know that there are raw materials, as we said. Industries need labor, so they also need to be located where labor is available. Markets also, availability of water and availability of very good transport networks. So if in the examination, you know that you can apply this in terms of your map work there. You can apply that, like we are discussing series there. What could have influenced the allocation of the series industries? You can actually see these are residential places, so it means the market is close to the market. Roads, meaning availability of transport. Having the market there, it means that we also have labor available. Raw materials and also these power lines, they indicate that it is one of the factors that would have favored is availability of power supply. Now, when we look at industries, we also need to look at the 4 core main regions of South Africa. The first one is the PWV, where we look at the Gauteng area. Factors that have influenced location there is that there's a large market, we have very good transport networks, labor available, skilled and unskilled, water availability through water transfer schemes, raw materials are available, and also electricity is available. What type of industries do we get? The chemical, iron, steel, and motor vehicle industries. Then secondly, we look at the Port Elizabeth utenage factors that favor location there. Here is Port Elizabeth here in Eastern Cape. It is close to a harbor, very good transport skills, transport networks, very good, there. Availability of skilled and unskilled labor, and availability of farm products and high rainfall. So this has led to motor vehicle industries relating to fruit, sheep, and cattle. We also have the Durban Pine Town there, and we also have the Southwestern Cape also. It's a must for you to know. Now, whenever we look at industrial development or industries in South Africa, we also look at strategies for industrial development, especially after 1994, when South Africa gained its independence. You know, after 1994, the government implemented the IDZs, the industrial development zones, which must be close to harbors and airports as a way of promoting industrial development. And all those numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can actually see the type of IDZs that are there. And you need to know the location in regards to the map as you prepare for your examination, boys and girls. Another strategy that was implemented is also the Spatial Development Initiatives, which was an initiative to develop and stimulate industries along development corridors and major transport routes. And these are the SDIs that are located in South Africa. It's a must for you to know where these industries are located. And it was a way of trying to decentralize industries from the 4 main core industries that we have just looked at. Now, I'm going to give specific reference to the Platinum SDI, which is located in the Northwest. And it is central to one of the only coast-to-coast development corridor in Africa. It's famous for its mineral resources, which is mainly platinum. That's why it is called the Platinum SDI. And it offers new mining opportunities and also minerals that can be found could be gold, slate, nickel, and also diamonds. We also have the Richards Bay, which is found in the KZN, which is the largest single coal handling facility in the world and the world's largest aluminum producer. So it is leading in manufacture of heavy industry and also close to a harbor, which is where there's a port there. Saldanha Bay, also an IDZ, which is located in the west coast there, close to Cape Town. A way of trying to decentralize industries there from Cape Town. Remember, we talk about Southwestern Cape. Industries there are mainly renewable energy, oil and gas, and maritime shipbuilding and repair, steel and mineral production. Now, these strategies have created employment, which is a positive impact. Their earning potential increases. They have reduced poverty. They've provided better services for people, and this has also improved standard of living for people. It has also led to development of infrastructure, roads, and it has also uplifted skill development. It has also positively impacted on tourism and has reduced rural urban migration. Like I said, it is a way of decentralizing industries. Then lastly, whenever we look at our economic sector, we look at the tertiary activities, the provision of services, and we are mainly concerned with international trade. What is international trade? It is exchange of goods and services between countries, from one country to another, from one country to another. Exchange of goods and services between countries. Now, when we look at exchange of goods between countries, we need to talk about what are the goods. If goods are brought into a country, what do we call them? If goods are taken away or we are sold to other countries, what do we call that? Imports and exports. Imports are goods that are brought into the country, and exports are goods that are sold outside the country, that are shipped out of the country. Now, what are the advantages of international trade? International trade can also lead to a disposable of surplus goods, access to foreign currency. We can get a variety of goods that can lead to the development of our country. It has also made countries become close together, closer ties between countries, more technical knowledge. It has increased salaries. It has also created employment, both locally as well as internationally. Disadvantages of international trade Local production can suffer. Local industries are overshadowed because people are just thinking about getting goods from USA, getting goods from these countries and so forth. So rich countries also have an influence. They become more richer than the poorer countries because they take advantage that they are ahead of development. Now, what is the role of transport in the economy of South Africa? Well, it has provided new markets, it has increased domestic and international trade, and develops less developed areas in the country, reduced costs in economic sectors, and it has improved business efficiency. Right, so that's where I'm going to end. I'm going to end on tertiary activities, boys and girls. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button and the notification, and I'm going to see you in my next video.